Hello, and welcome to another weekly reading. This week sees Mercury retrograde all week, and on the 1st of August, we will have the first quarter moon. So, we're also in that Lion's Gate portal for anybody who works with Lion's Gate energy. We're in that portal, that vortex, which is quite a powerful shift time as well. And the strongest dates for that are around the 8th of the 8th Lion's Gate. That is going to be your strongest portal. So it's not, this week is not the strongest, but we are already within that space. Mercury's been retrograde a while, so you're probably already sort of recognizing your own Mercury retrograde themes in Leo. And of course it is Leo season, which has this beautiful warmth, this generosity, this courageous sovereign energy. So how's that been playing out in your life? Because we have got a pretty powerful reading here. Almost like shocked me a little at the beauty of this reading and in some ways the challenge of this reading and the gift as well, because for me they're kind of intertwined. So remember, this is not a personalized reading. Choose a card between 1 and 4. That's going to give you your slightly more personalized version of this, your theme of this. But if you're wanting personal support, then please get in touch with through my links below. And let's jump in. Pick a number and let's go. Okay, look at this. Queen, King, both of cups, both with their eyes closed, both tuning in. I mean, he's probably scrying in this bowl of water over here. And she too has her bowl of water in front of her. And these are two major arcana cards. So two court cards, King and Queen of the same suit, like bookending this reading. And then two court cards in protection in the center, the Emperor, number 4, and the Hanged Man, number 12. And if you reduce this card, it links to the number 3 card, which is the Empress. So there is a level of connection between our Empress-Emperor energy in that as well. So I think I'm going to start in the middle of this reading, to be honest with you, and get to the bookends at the end. This for me is showing some seriously stubborn resistance to change. So in its upright form, the Hanged Man is about surrender, and in its upside down, we are refusing to surrender. There is this like deep desire to control dynamics instead of surrendering to the divine, surrendering to the master plan that we can't really understand. There's this attempt to hold on to things. And we can very much fall into the victim-martyr realm in this, like I'm doing everything for everybody and nobody recognizes me and whatnot. And then the Emperor is a card of, in its upright, it's this strong, Emperor says it all really, the strong masculine dynamic of holding power in a sovereign, honorable way. Remember, we're in the sign of Leo, which is very much that Emperor type of energy in many ways. You can see, in fact, this is linking to the sign of Aries, literally sitting in a throne of Mars, and the ram above. And Aries and Leo are the two most sovereign signs of the zodiac, and they're both fire. So there is a strong connection between the archetype of Aries and the archetype of Leo. But this is upside down. So it's trying to control, trying to have power over, trying to make power work in your favor, even if it's at the expense of somebody else. Again, victim-martyr, there's a lot of that tied in here. And then if we reduce this to the 3, and made that the Empress card, and she is the counterpart in many ways to the Emperor. It's that divine masculine feminine, which is a balance that we have been really trying to find better in the last years. And as far as I'm concerned, as the outer planets move into the yang, more masculine signs, all the work that we've been doing with the rising of the feminine, and this is in masculine people as well. Remember that whenever I speak about masculine and feminine, it's not really about gender so much as about frequency, it's about energy, and we all hold both frequencies within us. But we've been in the last many years, really, the divine feminine has been rising back up, re-empowering after many hundreds and thousands of years of being completely stifled, squashed, and disempowered, which has all been wonderful and was necessary because with the patriarchy, the balance was out. We cannot deny that that was the case. But now, because oftentimes people in feminine bodies have been rising, it leaves the oftentimes in masculine bodies people feeling displaced their roles, because everybody suffers from anything being too far out. So the patriarchy was actually not good for men either. And now as the outer planets move into the masculine signs, we redress the balance again, because we can't just become, oh, women are so powerful and empowered and so strong and down with men. That's not what this is at all. So now it's time to redress the balance again, so that we can find what is the healthy masculine and the healthy feminine within each of us individually. But then if you identify as one or the other, how can I embody that? How can I be the healthiest version of whatever I'm embodying? So this is really, really important right now, and we're struggling with it. There's a stubborn refusal to shift from the old paradigm that's showing up for us this week, and that makes complete sense, because how do you shift into something that you don't even know what you're shifting into? It's like, I want you to go to such and such. Well, give me a map. Sorry, there's no map. Find your way. And that's the problem. We don't know how to get there. We don't actually even know what it is that we're going to. Maybe we'll get there and wish we hadn't. Who knows? There's a level of faith in it. And this card really, this trust surrender really can link to a lot of, faith. Have faith. And so that brings me to my outer two little bookends here, the King and Queen of Cups, which is so intuitive, and they are absolutely tuning in to surrender. I often think of the High Priestess with this card, and if we brought her in, we would say she's the number 2 card. Number 3 is the Empress. Number 4 is the Emperor. So I feel like the early parts of the Fool's journey, which becomes the heroine's journey, with the themes and lessons of the archetypal journey in the major arcana, we're in that early stage of that. It's exactly that. Somebody told us we have to get to, let's say, Camelot, and we're saying, okay, but show me how, tell me how, come with me. And they're going, nope. Everything you need will be discovered as you take your next right step. Off you go now, and you're just blindly moving towards Camelot, which might be into the dungeons of Camelot, or might be onto the thrones of Camelot, or might be into a wonderful community of Camelot, or might be into the horrors of who knows? We don't know, and that's where we have to trust and surrender to this process, because we can't actually not. The world is moving in a direction that we really don't have any control over. And that's why these last-ditch efforts, to try and control it and being stubborn and resisting, I mean, that is so human. I mean, we can't even judge ourselves for it. I think even if you're really awake and recognizing that this is for the greatest good, it doesn't make it easy. So trusting into this deeply intuitive energy of these two cards, which are absolutely perfect counterparts in the water element, which is super reflective and is about trusting into your intuition. And really, with water, we can tap into everything, because most of our planet is made up with water. Most of our physical bodies by molecular count are made up of water. So if we can tune into the waters, we can tune into everything. We can tune into that collective. Think of the ocean connecting everything. It's like the blood flowing through a body, channels down to all the different spaces, up, down, inside, out. It's everywhere. And that's what these two, whilst their eyes are closed and they're tuning into their intuition, and they are not being unsettled by things around them. That's such a strong sense coming through for me right now. They're not watching the news. They're not getting whipped up into the fear and propaganda and all the stuff that's happening outside. They're just tuning into their hearts, even his heart. Look how it's radiating at his heart center. And the water is up to her solar plexus center. So this is the personal power center. And hers is being somewhat it's actually a fire chakra and hers is covered in water. But for me, it's almost like it's quietening out the noise, because you know that how when you go underneath the water, you cannot hear in the same way. So it's quietening out the noise, and it's allowing her to tune in to her inner power, and I mean, she's open at her heart, she's open at her throat, she's got her third eye up to the heavens. They are both deeply scrying in the water, tuning into the wisdom of the water. And oh gosh, I wanted to just tell you about this woman who's amazing, Veda Austin. If you haven't seen Veda Austin's work, go and check her out. She does remarkable things studying water. She is absolutely remarkable. Pam Gregory, another amazing person to check out if you haven't before, an astrologer. She does work with Veda Austin, and that's how I found Veda Austin. She is remarkable. The consciousness in water is amazing. Water is trying to communicate with us if we can understand how. So that feels to me very much what these two are doing. They are communicating with the water. They are listening with the water. They are allowing the waters of the entire ocean to tune into their wisdom within them, the waters within them. They're speaking to the collective waters from their individual waters. And you know what's really just jumped out at me, and I'm actually going to end this reading with that. Then you will be able to charter your course. Look at that little yacht in the background there. If you can do that, that is the map. So it's no joke that the person, the they, who sends you on this journey to Camelot, as we're using as an example, when they said everything you need will come to you, it's because it is within you, because you have the connection to the ocean, and the ocean will guide your way. Oh, now I'm feeling Moana vibes. But yes, you need to just start trusting, surrendering, and moving into it. And this is a surrender card in its best, but obviously there's a panic and I want to say unawareness. I don't even know if that's a word, but how to surrender to it right now out of fear. And this is a leadership card. So, I mean, if we can let these two hold space for these two, and they can start to trust and surrender and take the helm and steer that yacht in the direction that your heart is pulling you, Leo rules the heart, then we will be on track. And that all sounds so fantastical and fairy tale like. It seems like in our very logical, productive world today, that is the most ludicrous thing. And yet, that is our message. That is our message. So maybe we need to let go in some ways of our heavy conditioning and practical, logical, reasonable selves, and trust a little more the heart and the imagination, even the childlike joy and enthusiasm that guides our way. Okay, thank you. Have a wonderful week. Thanks for the likes, shares, follows, and subscribes, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.